Hello everyone and welcome back. It's a bigger set. I've been eyeing this thing up for a while, and alright, I took a shot at it. So we'll see how big this thing gets and how crazy this gets. So I'm always happy with getting space stuff or whatever else. That's why I'm drawn to like the Star Wars and Star Trek and all the other stuff. It's just a lot of fun. And to say it just point blankly, the sky is the limit. I mean, at this point, our imagination is the limit as far as what we can do, where we can go. In some regards, I'm kind of sad because we're down to, I don't want to belittle Elon Musk and them, but I'm used to NASA doing all this stuff, and we have all these great scientists doing all this stuff. But on the other hand, I guess when you have corporations doing it, they're trying to figure out how to do it the cheapest way instead of spending tons of money to figure out the simplest solution that could have been done a lot easier. Looking at how this is done, I'm kind of curious to see exactly how big this gets, and exactly everything is off on its own, which is fine and wonderful. It's just the whole thought of, okay, I want this to kind of be a space station. I've even thought, if I can, I'd love to just kind of fill this in a little bit. I do have extra bricks around, which I think you guys have seen. So time will tell. We will see exactly how good or bad or whatever this gets to be, and we'll see how many bags we have first. And there goes all my cardboard. Okay, let me go pick that up. So, looking at everything here, and I think it would be appropriate if I flip the cardboard around, because then we can have our space set up here in the back. Instead of having our other stuff, we can have the space. So, I'll kind of do that here. All right. So, looking at how many bags we have here, we do have quite a few. Look at all the technique for making her circle here. It looks wonderful. Okay, so we know we have 4, there's 8, 3, and 5, 6, trying to see how many bags we get. That would be 9. Here's 2. There's 1. We'll leave that one out. 7. And then, of course, then we have our ring here. Now let's get this opened up and see exactly how big of a book we have, what kind of stickers we have, all the fun things here. I know I've been kind of busy doing other things and all that, and so it's kind of nice getting back into at least getting a weekly Lego. I don't know exactly where I'm fitting this thing. I know we cleaned up the basement a little bit, so I have a little bit of room cleaned up, but I don't have room really to store this, so I'm hoping I can finagle something. Hopefully the wife doesn't catch on to something. If I suddenly disappear, I'm just giving you a warning. Maybe the wife found out that I moved something and it shouldn't have been moved, and then maybe we're going to have someone else pick up the videos. All right. So we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different books here. So we start off with set 1, so we get just our base starting set here. And that looks like this is going to be our rocket pod, or our kind of our little spaceship here to move all the other pods around. So let's kind of move all these off to the side as I try to get my fingers underneath here. And here we are. So, hoping you guys get to see all this. As always, because I've got my laptop behind me, and I use my laptop, but I used to have it on the pool table here, but my old computer had taken a dive. The kids don't need to use it, so I guess it kind of works out in that regard that I can just throw the laptop up there. But now that's starting to have a little bit of an issue at times, so, you know, electronics, what do you do? Okay. Because if that goes to pot, I have one extra backup, but that is really going to limit things as far as what I can and can't do. All right, so we do have our ring, and we have all these modules here. We have 8 different modules from the looks of it. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off with our little spaceship that actually gets to move things around as we need them to do this or that or whatever the case may be. So we're going to get going here. We have our pilot, and it looks like we have a young lady here. At this point, I'm going to kind of stop this and start this, and then we'll just do our fast build, and then we'll kind of cover all this afterwards. So that way I can just worry about just having fun building this. I don't have to worry about trying to feel like I need to keep talking, because, I mean, you know, I don't feel I'm that important that everyone has to listen to me all the time. So, you know, I think it goes a little bit better when I can just kind of just concentrate on building and listen to those silly stories or whatever, and just kind of go from there, and then we'll get this all kind of talked through at the end. have our modular space station all together, and all the modules are on here. So we finally get her all done. All right, so let's kind of go one thing after another. First, we'll kind of look at the figures. Now, the figures all have pretty much the same print. Depending on what kind of armor they have or whatever spacesuit they have, it does change up a little bit. The faces are pretty much all single-sided, so we only have one face on the figures, but it is a nice kind of print on here, and there is print on the back. So I think you guys may have seen a little bit of that. So we do have some nice print on the back, all underneath whatever their little air packs are, or rocket packs, or whatever else. And then, of course, then they just changed out and put on different arms, and we have different helmets. So we have a young gentleman here. This one looks like it is a young woman. A little flare on the eyes. We have another gentleman here with glasses, not a big deal. And then we have another young lady here, and she's got some sort of space pack on as well. And then we have a gentleman here with some sort of ocular kind of device here to help him with whatever he's working on here. So 3 gentlemen, 2 ladies, all trying to take care of the space station. And as we go through, I will lift this up here. Oops, actually there's a fourth, there's a 6th one, and we have another young lady here with glasses, and she's piloting our little shuttle here. And all these are meant to come off, and you could kind of put them together if you wanted to, or whatever. All depending on what you want to do. I think I will probably leave them together. And actually, I just kind of took a little bit of time. It's not pretty right now, but something I could maybe work on later, and I'll show you that here in a minute. So, the first pod we had was essentially our kind of rocket pod to kind of get around, and you could link up the other pods and move them if you had to, or whatever else. Our second one here, and these are all pretty well similar to put together. So when you saw me kind of doing things out of order, once you get the idea of how 1 or 2 of them go, it's not that hard trying to figure out exactly how to put the rest. So we do have a sleeping pod here. So we have a hat, another spot for like another helmet, and a little bed in here. And then we have windows so you can kind of look out. And then we have a hydroponics, or a growing pod here. And it does have the nice door that you can swing open if you wanted to. We'll just kind of leave it shut so that way our plants can grow. And the other idea that they had is you could take this off and maybe put it up here, so it would be in the middle. And then on our next one here, we'll open this up, and this is our repair pod. So we actually have some repair tools in there, so that way we can have some work done on our space station to keep it all up and operational. Not a problem. Now, number 5 here is our solar array and our communications. Now, this also came with a little droid that we can take off of here if we wanted to, and all this is being powered by the new whatever battery kind of components that they have to do that. So I'll put him with the other figures. He is kind of a simple build, not too hard to put together or whatever, but still it's always kind of nice getting robots in here. And I've always said before, I really like having like the robots and everything else. Okay, so then we move on to our next one. Now you notice that the doors are going to start flopping the other way. Everything kind of goes, or was kind of going this way. I think I might have messed up on that one, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, this is like a research pod. So we do have some samples in here. And this is kind of like a electronic microscope of some sort or something. So that way they can kind of do whatever they need to do there. And then we have another extra vehicular, or extra, kind of scooter or whatever to get around out here in space. We have another battery pack up there so we can charge things up. And of course, we have the little wing pylons there. You know, the stickers, as we were doing them, you know, we do have a sticker here. We have stickers on the outside, and that was the bulk. Whoops, here, there. You know, that was the bulk of them. So you have stickers on the outside for like entering and exiting and whatever else. So if I was to take this off, you get to see the sticker, and that's where they are. It's just kind of hidden right behind the door, and it works pretty good. I don't have any problems with that. We didn't have to put very many stickers on. I remember when we used to have these panels, we had to put the stickers onto the panels. We don't have that. Our nice space symbol there does not require a sticker. Same thing with that one. So that was really kind of nice. You know, of course, now I did have to put the sticker, or no, actually, that didn't have a sticker. This is a standard print on there, so it's not something that we had to put on, which is good for small hands when you're trying to do this. And of course, we have a food pod here, so a little coffee maker, a sandwich, and a drink. And then we're all the way back to our initial control pod. Now, I did this just on the whim and just having a little bit of fun, because I kind of think of the old Star Trek, and we used to have the big space station and would all go up. So I kind of quickly did this. Now, I had bought these pieces not that long ago. I kind of intended to do a space theme in that, and I kind of did that, and I have, you know, some pink pieces here. So I figured, you know what? I have these pieces. I could probably do this. Now, one of the things I notice is it holds a little bit, but not the greatest on here for whatever reason. And I know those are actual Lego pieces because that's how I got them. It was one of those big buckets of Legos, and you got all the different colors, and that's fine. But I was kind of thinking if I could cover this up and fill that in and make it look like it's a bigger space station, that would just be really neat. So just kind of going from there as I move some bags of different parts around. And then one of the other thoughts I had, and I bought these. I don't think these are Legos. Somebody else had printed these off. But for some of the other thoughts, as I grab these, and some of you might get where I'm going on this, and others might not. And I don't know how well this would work. So this is just a running kind of, I don't know how well this will work or not. Okay. And actually, if I had little pieces on here, which I do have some. So, whoops. Let's just have a little bit of fun here. Trying to get this to kind of work. I don't know how well this will or will not work, but just, you know, taking a quick side tour here. Maybe not on the outside because this doesn't want to hold. There's just not enough grip there, but if I want in one, can I do that? And that does seem to hold. So the question is, can I fill this in so it looks like it's actually propped up a little bit? And that was one of the thoughts I'd had at one time. If I could do that a couple times, and we'll try one more, because if I'm trying it, somebody else might have already done it, or maybe they know better and they're going to look at me or yelling at the screen already saying it just doesn't work. But you know what? Let's just give it a little trial here. Now, these aren't necessarily the pieces I would actually want, but okay, so it might work. And there again, it doesn't seem like it really does. Now here it looks like maybe if I got a couple pieces in there or something, maybe I could get something to work, but you know, maybe not. But it's at least something we can get up a little bit and we can kind of work with it. But you know, I'm just trying this just because you know, when I first saw this, I had always thought, and another thought is here, maybe I get a second one and then we build it up a little higher and then we can go around. But whether I do or don't, you know, it doesn't really matter. It's just the whole thought of, possibilities. So with that being what it is, it is a nice build. It is a nice, interesting space station. It's a ring, not kind of how I'm used to seeing rings, because typically we have a ring and then you can kind of fly in or whatever else. That's why I wanted to fill in the center so it looks like you can actively go in and out of these modules on your own. Not saying you could or you couldn't or whatever else, but it would be a little on the interesting side if you could feel like there was a center gathering area and then you could walk in and out. Now that gets to be a little bit more interesting as far as the builds go and everything else, and I'm not trying to bash Lego on that. This is a very fun play set because you can take these off and then you can put them together and make a long train of a ship or something like that. But always with the Lego, there's always endless possibilities. What can we imagine? And that's just me trying to imagine what else could I do with this. And because I've already got some extra pieces to be silly, maybe I do, maybe I don't. Either way, it is a nice set. It is a lot of fun, especially for kids that are getting a little bit older, because we have more Technic in here. This is 7+, so the kids can start working a little bit with the Technic. Although I prefer the regular Lego over the Technic because sometimes, oh dummy me, I miss certain parts, and sometimes you see me go back and like, nope, I goofed that one up and I had to go back. But that's just me. There's other people that are a little bit more detail oriented, and I'll say it that way. That this is not a big thing for or whatever, but it's just the fun. It's just the possibilities of what can we create and what can we do. So with that, thanks for visiting. Hope you enjoyed the build. It's a lot of fun. Hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.